We weren't just losing our small family business to a competitor, we were losing our entire life. They didn't just want to win, they wanted to crush us, and I watched my boss's family sell everything they owned just to keep the lights on. I work for a small, family-owned manufacturing business. Nothing glamorous, just a place built on reputation, routine, and honest work. The father who started it passed away a few years ago, and now the mother and her 2 adult kids are trying to keep it alive. This isn't just a business to them. It's their history, their identity, their home. But a larger competitor has been trying to destroy us for years. When they couldn't beat us through normal means, they switched to outright sabotage. They bribed suppliers to cut ties. They hired people to mess up shipping schedules. They flooded customer service with fake complaints to drag down our ratings. The worst part? It was working. We looked unreliable, careless, and slow. Customers were frustrated, thinking we'd become lazy or greedy. They had no idea someone was kneecapping us from behind the scenes. The family has already sold most of what they personally own just to keep payroll going. Sentimental jewelry, the extra vehicle, all gone. The mother still brings homemade meals to the office and tells us, "Don't forget we're a family." The son, running the place now, tries to joke, keeping morale up, even though I can see how tired he is. The daughter quietly handles paperwork, trying not to show how scared she is. The whole place felt like it was held together with worn-down hope and duct tape. A lot of employees left. I don't blame them. People have bills and futures. But for those of us who stayed, it wasn't just a job. We'd been here for holidays, tragedies, and celebrations. We watched this place grow. You don't just walk away from that kind of connection. I couldn't just watch something built on real love and effort get devoured by people who only see dollar signs. I took on more work than I was paid for. I was chasing new suppliers, personally calling long-term customers, taking pay cuts, staying late. I wasn't pretending to be a hero. I just couldn't watch them fall. The competitor underbid one of our last big contracts so aggressively it was obvious they didn't care about making money. They just wanted us gone. They wanted the land, the name, not the decades of sweat. My boss tried to keep a brave face, but I saw how he paused outside his father's old office every night before locking up. I saw how he sometimes slept on the break room couch, pretending he just worked late. This was killing him. I didn't know how this would end, but leaving now would feel like the ultimate betrayal. I wasn't going to spend the rest of my life wondering if I could have helped more. So I stayed. We were fighting a losing battle, but we were fighting it together. I wish I could say things got better, but they didn't. We lost one of our oldest customers, someone who knew the founder personally. The son took the call, and the silence afterward said everything. They switched because they couldn't afford the delays anymore. It felt like 2 people breaking up, when neither wanted to. He just sat there, staring at the desk, trying to remember how to breathe. Then we found the little things. Inventory numbers not matching, orders marked shipped but still in the back, boxes labeled wrong. Small, consistent mistakes. Too precise, too frequent, too useful to the people trying to destroy us. Someone here was working against us. I didn't say anything to the family. They had enough to carry. I just started taking notes. I found the son alone in the cold, washed-out warehouse after closing. He was sitting on a pallet, head in his hands, not crying, just utterly drained. He gave me this tired half-smile and said, "We'll figure it out," but his voice sounded like sandpaper. I don't know how to help any of them, but I couldn't walk away from this family. Not when someone was actively trying to bury what their father built. By the way, if you're still with me, witnessing this slow corporate execution, make sure to hit subscribe because this story has a twist that nobody saw coming. This week was rough, but a tiny flicker of hope finally showed up. One of our longtime customers stopped by, not to complain, but just to talk. He said he could tell something bigger was going on. The sudden issues didn't feel like us. He said, "Your dad treated people right." I remember that. He wasn't dropping us. My boss looked like he was about to fall apart, getting one single inhale after holding his breath for months. Meanwhile, the weird mistakes kept happening. And the same person was always around when something went wrong. Always too friendly, always volunteering in the exact area where the errors would occur. They knew I was onto them. We made eye contact and they just stared and gave me a chilling smile that said, "Go ahead, try something." I knew I needed proof. Then things got worse. One of the warehouses got hit. Someone messed with the wiring and forced a full shutdown. And before we could figure out what happened, a smug building inspector showed up. He didn't ask questions. He went straight to the exact spots that would fail. Someone tipped him off. The fines were crippling. The mother was crying behind the warehouse, trying to hide it. I couldn't watch anymore. I owed this family everything. The father gave me a job when I was heading toward jail. So I did the only thing I could. I went back to the one place I swore I would never return to, my old crew. The old boss was gone. The new boss, Daniel, was different, structured, quiet. I told him everything. The sabotage, the family struggling, the competitor choking us out. I told him, I owe this family, and I can't just watch it happen. He listened, wrote down the founder's name, and made a call. Then he told me to go home. The next day, the sun gathered everyone. He thanked us, said he didn't know how long the company would last. It felt like the end. Then, 2 vehicles pulled up. An older man in a suit stepped out. His name was Anton, a lawyer. He said his client wanted to invest, not take the company. When my boss came back out of the office, he looked relieved for the first time in forever. Anton told me Daniel would see me in a couple of days. The days that followed didn't feel real. New faces started showing up to work, older, quiet, just working. They handled repairs, security, and organization. The building inspector showed up again, smug and confident. He was about to write more violations when Anton suddenly showed up. Anton cut him off, told him we had cameras installed, and caught him writing citations before entering the building. The inspector's whole demeanor changed. He threatened a full shutdown, but Anton told him to focus on the legal side. A few days later, I went back to Daniel's office. The building inspector and the former employee who had sabotaged us were there. Both looked terrified. The inspector started yelling about charges and kidnapping. Daniel simply slapped him. Hard. The room went silent. Daniel slapped him again, mocking his threats. He told him he showed up at his business, harassing his people, and that was his first and last warning. Then Daniel turned to the former employee. The guy tried to look tough, but his whole body was shaking. Before he could say anything, Daniel pummeled him. He was begging for him to stop. Daniel's man walked in holding Molotov cocktails. The truth spilled out. The former employee wasn't just sabotaging the warehouse. He was planning to go after my boss's home, where his mother sleeps. Daniel already knew. Daniel looked at the beaten man and said there would be no mercy for that. He told his men to drag him out. I asked what would happen. Daniel just said, "Police will pick him up." I knew fine didn't mean the same thing to Daniel as it did to me. Then Daniel turned to me and said that since I came to him for help, I would be working for him now. Not optional. Not temporary. It was a fact. I said yes. I didn't have a choice. I owed him now. He said the family keeps the company. There will just be favors here and there in exchange for protection. And the competitor would figure out soon that they messed with the wrong people. Things quickly moved in the right direction. Loyal former employees started coming back, saying they heard things were changing. Anton was there, documenting everything. The mother was smiling, a real smile. The competing company showed up, acting smug. expecting to see a dying business. Anton laughed at their pathetic buyout offer and slid a photo across the desk. The inspector receiving cash from their rep, caught on video. Their confidence vaporized. Anton told them, "Get ready." Then he turned to me. "You're the floor manager now. You've been doing the job anyway." My boss nodded. That was the promotion. Later, my boss poured us 2 glasses of whiskey. He admitted he made mistakes, but then he said, "Because of you, my mother is smiling again." His sister came in and just hugged me. That was enough. The competitor finally sent their CEO. He looked exhausted, trying to negotiate quietly, but Anton dismissed him. He left without a handshake, just background noise. The daughter stepped up, learning scheduling and inventory flow. She was sharp. The whole family was fighting now. Then we got the final news. We were suing the competitor. Corporate sabotage, collusion, physical coercion, a full case, backed by overwhelming evidence. Anton told us they were already bleeding, and now they were going to bleed faster. They messed with the wrong people. It's been almost a year now. The competitors shut their doors for good. Gone. The daughter and I started dating. Her brother, my boss, gave me his blessing. He's taking night classes now, learning to build a lasting company. I finally sat down with Daniel to ask when I was supposed to start working for him again. He smiled. "You already are." He owned 25% of the company as a silent partner. My job isn't to be a runner. It's to help people who just need a chance at a normal life, the same way his father helped me. He told me he already chose the one who replaces him if anything happens. Anton will tell me when it's time. Until then, eyes open, ears open. Take care of the family. I came here years ago because a man gave me a chance when no one else would. Now, a different kind of man gave me the chance to keep that first chance alive. The place is strong, it's alive, and it's ours. This was the hardest choice of my life, going back to my past to protect my present. Honestly, what would you have done when you saw that family losing everything? Would you have walked away, or would you have gone to the one person who could truly help, no matter the cost? Tell me what you think. I really want to know.